Hi there, it's Tiffany of Clarity, Confidence, Courage, Women's Empowerment. Welcome or welcome back. Now, you all may know that I did a video about a week ago on why it's so important for women's mental health, for them to have community or like-minded tribes that they can be around, people in their social circles that they really can depend on, talk to, and that can encourage them. So for this video, I wanted to do kind of a part 2 to that video to give you a step-by-step guide on how to be strategic about the types of relationships and community that you build, especially in your adult life. Now, before we jump into the content, as always, be sure to like, share, and subscribe so other women just like you who want to grow and have these amazing, beautiful lives can level up, build their clarity, build their confidence, and build their courage to take the action necessarily to be bold, beautiful, and amazing. All right, let's jump into this content. Now, what I wanted to talk about specifically in this video isn't just about building relationships. It's about being strategic in the types of relationships that you build. You know, a lot of people build friendships in elementary school, high school, college, and yes, some of them stay friends with the exact group of people for a very long period of time. But some people don't, especially in this day and age where people are moving around, people are working remotely, people are going to different countries. It's just easier and more accessible for people to move around. So a lot of times the community that they had when they were kids are not the same group of people that they have in adulthood. And it could be for a number of reasons. It could be that you moved, or it could be that you've changed. You've grown up. Your lifestyle is different from the people that you grew up with, and that's okay. The question then becomes, as you get older, how do you then navigate the world and build new friendships and new social circles that truly align with your lifestyle, your goals, your values, and your beliefs? So let's talk about what it means to be strategic when it comes to the friendships that you had. I actually have a core group of friends that I've been friends with for a very long time, 10 years or more. And it's just a handful of them. It's like I can count them on one hand. But we don't live in the same state. We don't, see each other all the time. We don't even talk to each other that often. But when we do talk to each other, which might be twice a month, might be 3 times a month, depending on what they have going on, we have a deep, meaningful connection. It's like we never fell off. We pick up where we started. And it's not because we don't care about each other. It's because they have busy lives. I have a busy life. And we know enough about each other to know, like, our time is valuable. So when I call you to check up on you, it's meaningful. It means something. Now, everybody is not going to be in that primary group of friends, okay? Those are the people you have a deep-seated soul connection to. Other groups of friends that you may have, just like I talked about in the other video, may be in your secondary group. You might see them more often and you hang out with them and they're like a good group of friends. Or they might be in the third group where you see them every now and again, but for a specific interest, like jogging or running or a book club or whatever. So there's a lot of different groups. If you don't remember that video, I'm going to put it here just so you can kind of get familiar with what I talked about in the first video. But for this video, again, I want to say it's time to get strategic about the groups that you join. So let's say that you move. I've moved several times in my life. I've always made friends wherever I've gone, which I think is shocking to some people. They're like, you're moving again, but you don't know anybody there. I'm like, yeah, I am. And you're right. I don't know anybody, but I'm going to get to know someone. And here's the reason why. I am strategic when it comes to my social connections and my social groups. And it has paid off for me in the long run. It has paid off for me in business. It's paid off for me in my finances. It's paid off for me in fitness. It's paid off for me in a lot of different areas of my life. So how do I do that? How do I travel to different countries, travel to different states, move around, and still are able to meet people and to navigate and to build these social circles wherever I go? Here is the first thing that you want to do. Number 1, think about your goals. I don't think there's anything wrong with meeting people at different places. If you're at Walmart or if you're at the grocery store, but yes, you're always gonna meet people. But when it comes to building strong, strategic friendships and collaborations and community, think about the goals that you have in life. Like, what are your life goals? Is part of your life goals that you want to make a certain amount of money by a certain time? You want to retire early? Does it have anything to do with your finances? Is part of your life goals is your health, getting more fit, losing weight, or being a part of, a marathon runner or doing some type of fitness challenge or whatever it is? Maybe your goals are to build a business or to learn more about some type of class that you really like, or learn how to, grow a certain skill that you have. The bottom line is, whatever your goal is, write it down. If you followed me, I talk about goals and goal setting a lot. So really, you should already have your goals written down somewhere. And especially for this particular year, I like to write goals every so often, because I'm hitting goals pretty much every 30 to 90 days. I am able to cross a goal off my list because I'm actively accomplishing goals. So I want you to look at your list of goals, whether it's a quarterly goal, 6-month goal, or a yearly goal. And I want you to kind of work backwards. If you have a fitness goal where you're like, by the end of the year, I want to, lose a certain amount of weight, or I want to have learned how to do a 5K or jog a marathon or whatever it is, then one of the groups that you should be seeking out to be a part of should have something to do with fitness. Now that could be joining a group fitness class, or joining a jogging group, or joining some type of personal training group where you have sessions online, but then you do things by yourself. But the bottom line is, start getting around people who have that same mindset when it comes to their health and their wellness. You want to be around people like that because they're going to encourage you and they're going to push you to keep going when times get tough on your journey, and they are going to get tough. So put yourself among a group of people that aren't just random. They're connected to a goal that you specifically said you want to accomplish by the end of the year. Another way to be strategic when it comes to building groups, especially around goals, is your finances. When you think about your wealth, are you happy with your finances? Do you feel like you need to take classes around money? Do you feel like you need to, learn more about finances? It might be in your best interest to join a group that specifically talks about finances, or maybe you can get online coaching from a coach that has a group program where you are learning about your finances along with everyone else. There are so many financial people out there. I'm not even going to waste your time. You can Google it and look up coaches that specifically focus on finances and see if they have a group coaching program. I have met so many women because of the different types of coaching programs that I have actually joined over the years. And this can also apply to business. If one of your goals is to build a business for yourself, or to, upgrade your skill in a certain skill set for your current job, join a group, join a coach that has a group around whatever it is you're trying to do. Again, I still have contacts and accountability partners and friends because of the groups that I joined online from coaches that I connected with around a certain goal that I was trying to achieve. So I'm still friends with these people. Yes, it's online, but some of them I talk to every month, or I talk to every so often. And they help me and I help them because we're still on that trail of accomplishing that goal, on that journey of building our businesses. So think about it from that perspective of being strategic. You only have so many hours in the day. Why not build friendships and community around the things that are extremely important to you? And then now the second thing that you want to focus on is your lifestyle. Do you have groups or friends or community that align with the type of life that you live? My lifestyle is I get up early in the morning. I like to, do my self-care routine. I like to go to the gym. I like to come home. I like to meditate. I like to journal. Then I get my workday started. And then after my workday, at the end of the day, when I've given all of my energy, I then like to relax. I like to maybe go out to happy hour or do something fun or relaxing. That's the lifestyle that I live. And that's the lifestyle I live no matter where I go. I live that lifestyle even when I'm traveling, even when I'm on the road. So who are the types of friends or community that, align with that type of lifestyle? The type of women that like to get up early in the morning, or like to give them a little bit of self-care in the morning, or like to believe in journaling and meditating and that type of thing. Or maybe they're the type of people that believe that it's important to work, but it's important to turn off work at 5 o'clock and have a good time and happy hour or whatever it is. The bottom line is maybe you need to meet people that align with your lifestyle activities. Now, I know you may say, well, Tiffany, how do I meet those people? Well, those might be people that you might meet in women's groups. Maybe a certain women's groups that focuses on makeup. If you feel like, you're really into makeup, or women that have groups that focus on the body and health and self-care. Maybe there are women groups that focus on yoga and meditation. Look it up in your community. I know right now, if I Googled, yoga groups or meditation communities in my neighborhood, I would find a ton, because I've done that before, because I like yoga and I like meditation. So I meet people in that world, in those communities. And that's how I've gotten to create some of the friendships that I've gotten to create. Now, if you're an adventure girl, and that's me too, and you like to travel and you like to every couple months start planning another trip or another excursion, join a travel group. There are tons of women's travel groups all over the internet, all over the country, all over the world. And yes, you can meet women in those situations too and build community. And I'm saying women, but of course, some of these travel groups are mixed. They have men and women, or they're just women, or they're a certain age group, whatever works for you. The bottom line is, again, that is something that would align with your lifestyle. Now you might say, well, Tiffany, I've got my health group, I've got my finance group, I've got my travel group, but what about my everyday life? What about the community of where I actually live? I want to meet people in my city. Again, what are your interests? Do you like golf? Do you like going to games like football games and baseball games? Do you like books? Do you like gardening? Because all you have to do is type in those interests within, your city, gardening plus Atlanta or gardening plus Louisiana. You're going to get a lot of groups that pop up, again, of people that have those same interests right in your city. So yes, you can have your friend circle that's out there in different countries, different states, different cities, but then you can have that group that's a little bit more intimate that you see on a regular basis. So there's a lot of different ways to be strategic about how to build your community. Now I'm going to go over just a general list of ways that you can connect with people in your area or in different states. Number one, an interest group. Again, Google whatever your interest is, whether it's gardening, biking, hiking. There are tons of interest groups, even gaming or Gothic or Comic-Con, things that you probably wouldn't even think of. Yes, there are interest groups for that too. Type in your interest group plus your city or state and find those people and join those groups to meet people and to start building community. Number two, attend workshops and events for things that you are interested in. Again, if you're really into women's empowerment, maybe try some women's empowerment conferences in your area. The idea is to find those workshops and events where not only you can enjoy yourself, but again, you're gonna meet like-minded people who are on your same wavelength. Next, volunteer. Find volunteer groups that maybe have a passion of yours. Whether you volunteer maybe with the Animal Society, the Humane Society, maybe you volunteer with children's groups that help children, or you volunteer with groups to help the homeless or the elderly or food banks. There are so many volunteer organizations out there, and I believe there's something called volunteer.org where you can look up volunteer opportunities in your city, in your state, in your country, in order to see where you can volunteer some of your time. When you go to volunteer groups, you may end up finding people that you mesh with that have an interest in animals, that have an interest in children, that have an interest in helping people in need. So definitely look up the local volunteer groups, again, for a place where you can build community. Taking classes or joining clubs. I have taken so many classes over the years, and there have been times where I've literally forced myself. I could have taken an online class, but I have forced myself to go out and take the in-person class of the thing that I wanted to learn. And again, it forced me to socialize in person, which I don't know about all of you. I'm a natural introvert. I know a lot of people are introverts, but it is so difficult sometimes to force yourself to get out there and do things in person, especially after the pandemic. You have to do this. It is so vital to your mental health. So yes, be willing to just take a class in person if you can, to connect with other people, to learn from them, to learn from the professor or the instructor, but to put yourself out there and start building community. I personally love to attend networking events for my business. So whenever I travel to a different state or a different country, I will Google organizations that are particularly connected to something that might be helpful for my business. So if you travel visit those groups. Those groups are always welcoming guests. So you can call ahead of time or email them ahead of time to say, you know, what is the stipulation? I'm coming from another state. I'd like to visit your group. I'm a part of that same group in my state. Trust me, they're going to welcome you with other open arms. So try some of that out. Network with people, especially when it comes to business and things that have your interest and that align with your goals. And lastly, you've heard me say this before, meetup.com. I'm not affiliated with them, but Meetup is a great place to look online wherever you go, wherever you travel, to see if there are any interest groups that you could join to build community. If you're not familiar with Meetup, it's an international, worldwide organization where you can literally go online, type in, you know, what it is you're looking for, what type of event or what type of groups you're looking for. And there are people that have already created what they call meetup groups in that area. It's a great way to meet people and build community. Now, like I said in the other video, be mindful, have discernment. Just because you meet someone doesn't mean that they're safe, doesn't mean that they're always going to be kind, doesn't mean that they're a person that you want to draw into your life immediately. Use the same discernment that you would if you're dating someone. You know, in the beginning, everybody puts on the best face, but as you get to know them, they may change. So as you're building community, as you're reaching out to different groups and to different people that align with your goals, that align with your lifestyle, or just align with things that you consider fun, have discernment. Be mindful of how close you get to them in the beginning. You know, get to know them on a one-on-one basis, in a group, in a crowd, and slowly, as you get to know them, see if they would be a right fit to have in your personal circle of friends or acquaintances. Now, I hope that was helpful. Again, I wanted to do a part 2 to that first video because I think it's important to talk about the reason why it's important to have community, but then I think it's important to understand how to create that community, how to actually get out there and meet people. But I'm telling you, we are in a digital age where luckily there are so many ways to meet people and to join groups and to build community. Now, the other thing I want to say is the onus is on you to maintain those friendships or those acquaintances once you build them. And if you're a super busy person, then don't try to join a lot of groups. Don't try to join a lot of things. Just if you have 10 people that you're really close to, maybe that's all you need. And everybody else is just coworkers or acquaintances or people you see every now and again. And that's perfectly okay. As long as you have a community that supports you, that is there for you, and that you can depend on in a time of need and they can depend on you, that is what's most important. Again, this is about your mental health, your wellness, and just your overall life goals. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope that this was helpful. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe, and I will be talking to you in the next one. Bye.